Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about Japanese verbs. The two main kinds of verbs in the Japanese language are u verbs and ru verbs. They are so called because of how their base form ends. Let's talk about ru verbs first. For these verbs, you add a root to the verb base. For instance, in our sentence, I eat potatoes, the verb is taberu, to eat. To conjugate in the way we see in the sentence, you take out the root and add mas, which indicates that an action takes place. Thus we get the sentence, watashi wa jigai mo tabemasu. You could also make it negative by substituting masen instead of mas. This sentence would now read watashi wa jigai mo tabemasen, which means I don't eat potatoes. Now let's talk u verbs. For these you have an u sound at the end of the base. Let's take the verb nomu, which means to drink. To conjugate this and say something happens, you would drop the u at the end and add an I followed by mas. We can use this to form the sentence watashi wa orange juice wo nomimasu, which means I drink orange juice. And as with ru verbs, you can make it negative by substituting masen. Thus you would have the sentence watashi wa orange juice wo nomimasen, which of course means I don't drink orange juice. Another example of an u verb is iku, which means to go somewhere. You would conjugate it by dropping the u and adding either imasu or imasen, which would give you either ikimasu or ikimasen. It's not always easy to identify what's a u verb and what's a ru verb. If the vowels a, o, or u occur right before the last ru of a verb, they are undoubtedly u verbs. However, this does not work for I or E vowels. For instance, the verb naru, meaning to sleep, has an E before the ru and is a ru verb. On the other hand, the verb kairu, meaning to return to someplace, has the same situation but is an u verb. It takes a lot of practice and memorization to get u verbs and ru verbs down. The book Genki, an integrated course in elementary Japanese, My Japanese Bible, recommends memorizing each verb as a set. Make it a point to memorize the dictionary form and present tense affirmative, like taberu and tabemasu. Finally, there are the irregular verbs suru and kuru. Suru simply means to do something. For example, you have the verb binkyo suru, which means to study. To conjugate this, you take suru and make it either shimasu for affirmative or shimasen for negative. From this, we can make the sentence watashi wa nihongo wo benkyou shimasu, which means I study Japanese, or shimasen, I don't study Japanese. The irregular verb kuru means to come somewhere. You will conjugate it by turning it into kimasu or kimasen. You can make the sentence watashi wa ie wo kimasu, which means I will come home, or kimasen, I won't come home. That's all for now. Tune in next time. We'll be discussing the te form and other ways to modify verbs.